Hi investors, welcome to today's video. Today we are gonna cover one of the two best NBFC which are outperforming their industry and which you need to look currently, and they have just posted a great result. They are doing this consistently from last 1 year, okay, from last 4 quarters we can say. So we will introduce first India's NBFC sector is going through a massive transformation. So raising credit demand, even formalization of lending, and even shift from bank to aligned lenders. But here's the interesting part. While many NBFCs are struggling with cost of fund and asset quality, a few companies are quietly outperforming the entire industry, but not by the hype, but by its execution. And today we are breaking down two such companies. First is India Shelter Finance Corporation, and second one is SBFC Finance. These are not the biggest name, but they are amongst the fastest growing currently and most efficient player right now. So the biggest NBFC opportunity, before we dive into the company, let's understand the micro. India is massively under penetrated in credits, especially in affordable housing, small businesses, informal income segments. Even banks struggles here because documentation is weak, ticket size are small, and even underwriting is complex here. And that's where the NBFC steps in. They understand the borrower better, they price the risk better, and they grow faster than others. So that's the reason why NBFC outperform the industries, and let's see how these two are going. So let's first understand first company, India Shelter, the silent housing compounder. Let's start with the India Shelter. This is a housing company focused on low and middle income borrowers, tier 2, tier 3 and rural market. Now look at its number. Latest quarterly numbers. Their sales last FY25 Q4 was around 327 crores for Q4. This year they did 408 crores this Q4. So this was a year-on-year jump of 25%. So that was growth of 25%, and these people are doing this every quarter, the growth of 25%. And EBITDA they delivered last year was 244 crores. This year they did 298 crores, close to 300 crores, which is a growth of 22% on YOY basis. Whereas net profit they did last year 108 crores, whereas this year they did 138 crores, which is a jump of YOY basis 27%. And EPS last year was 10.02. This year is 12.65. This is a growth of YOY basis 26%. That's a great stuff. They are doing this stuff every quarter, and this is a discipline. That's the consistent and clean growth. But the numbers alone don't tell the full story. What makes this business strong is that this company is lending to the people who are first-time home buyers, informal income buyers, and even underserved by bank. And here's the key insight, that housing loans are among the safest retail assets. Okay, so why? Because people prioritize home loan repayment above everything else. That creates lower in NPA, okay, and even stable cash flow and predictable growth. And also India Shelter operates in a smaller towns, so where the competition is lower. That gives its pricing power and a better yields. So now just look at the second company, SBFC Finance, the MSME lending engine. Now let's talk about SBFC Finance. This company focuses on small business loans, secured MSME lending. Now let's look at its current Q4 result. Okay, so they did around, last year they did sales of 361 crores, and this year they did 454 crores. So this was a jump on YOY basis 26%, whereas the EBITDA last year they did 248 crores. This year they did 316 crores, which is a jump on YOY basis is 28%. Whereas if you look toward the net profit, the last year they did 94.4 crores, whereas this year they did 123 crores. So this is a jump of 30%. and on YY basis, whereas EPS last year was 0.87 rupees and this year it is 1.11, so 1.11 rupees. So this is a growth of 28%. So everything is growing about 25%. So that's then they are doing this stuff for last 4 quarters consistently, which is a discipline, and they are delivering that stuff. So even see, such companies should get a higher valuation, yet they are not getting that stuff. So eventually when the bull market will start and the stuff will go on, they will eventually get the kind of valuation which will be above the other NBFCs, which are growing at constant 15 kind of 20%. So they will get a kind of mediocre valuation, but these people who are going by more than 25% or 25%, the SBFC Finance is growing its net profit by 30%. So they should get high valuation kind of PE. So reasonably they should get a 30 PE and all this stuff. Let's see how market rewards in current up move, and let's hope for bull market from this point. I even day before yesterday I was in with Ashish Kuchal, and they are also hoping for the next bull market from this point. So very optimistic. For last 2 months I was meeting very interesting people. Last month I was in Surat with Jayman broking founder. So he is the largest taxpayer in Surat. So he's also optimistic that for the 4 years to 5 years will be the next bull market, and let's see how it's go on, right? So let's continue the video. So this is even faster than the India shelter, right? Why SBFC is growing so fast? Because MSME in India are massively underfinanced. Small shop owners, traders, service businesses, they need capital, but bank often avoids them. SBFC steps in with secured loan book, better underwriting, higher yield, and this creates a strong growth, higher margin, even scalable models, and importantly, this segment grows with the economy. So that's the crazy stuff. So the important point comes here is what both the companies are doing right, which other companies are not doing, and that's the reason why these both companies are outperforming the industry. So now here's where it gets interesting, right? This company operates in a different segments, yeah, but they're NBFC only, but their strategy is similar only. Okay, focus on unserved customer, not competing with big banks, whereas instead targeting first time buyers, small businesses, low income housing. This is where the growth is higher. So second comes is strong risk management. They are not blindly growing, they understand their customer deeply. That leads to better asset quality, even control NPS, and even sustainable growth. And the third part comes is high growth plus profitability. Both companies are delivering 25 to 30% growth, strong profit expansion. This is rare in NBFC space today, and they are doing this consistently, disciplinedly, and that's the different part only, and it's difficult for NBFCs also. So if we look toward valuation perspective, now let's talk about valuation. So India shelter P is around 17 to 18x, right? SBFC Finance P is around 22 to 23x. At first, if you look, SBFC looks more expensive, but remember it is also growing by more pace. The key point is both are not even fairly valued for the growth rates they are growing at, and consistently they are growing at, and discipline is the major role here. So in fact, if you compare the largest NBFC, they still have a room for re-rating. Okay, these both the companies. If you look toward their risk, not any investment is risk free. Every investment has a risk. So credit risk, this company is lent to informal and small buyers. Any economic slowdown can impact repayment. Second comes cost of fund. NBFC depends on borrowing. If interest rate rises, margin can get impacted. Third comes competition. As this segment grows, more players will enter. Maintain the growth will require strong execution. So conclusion is that India's credit story is getting started, and the biggest opportunity lies not in a large corporates but in small borrowers first time homeowners and MSMEs. That's exactly where these companies operates. And India Shelter Finance Corporation, even SBFC, they are not just growing fast, they are solving the real problem in the current economy, and that's why they are outperforming the industry. Because in finance, the best business are not the bigger, but they are the one closest to the customer. If you like the breakdown, hit a like, share and subscribe the channel. Make the YouTube brother happy by subscribing it, and let's meet in the next video. Bye bye guys.